It's the Boller Sports Report. I mean, who else would it be? Dreamatic. All right, y'all. It's the Boller Sports Report. It's the fucking golden hour. I'm Charles Boller. That's Henry Garcia. How y'all doing? How you doing, Henry?
What's going on, Charles? All good, man. It's been a good week. It's been a good week with a lot of interesting things happening in the sports world, and some fun matchups this coming Sunday. Good game so far right now. Kind of enjoying watching Love get tossed around by the Lions. So that's good.
Yeah.
What's up with you?
Cooling. Just ready to do the damn thing. I titled the stream "Who's Got Better Than Us" because that's what Harbaugh says in the locker room, and the answer is Jim Harbaugh. So just a quick little thing. You got something cooking on your end, so I figure I just let you tell the people what you got going on.
That's right. We've been talking about this. I've been talking to you about this, and I've got a channel that's going to be coming up. It's going to be called High Voltage
Good name.
Podcast with Henry Garcia. It's going to be covering the Los Angeles Chargers. Really excited about that, especially with Jim Harbaugh now there. Obviously, been a Niner fan for all of my football life, but now that the Chargers in LA, I kind of adopted them about 6 years ago when they came into town. So time flies, right? It's been like 6 years already.
Dude, 6 years. Wow.
Oh, actually 8. 8 years, dude.
No
8
way.
years. Yeah, 8 years.
Really?
Yeah, they came in 2014 is when the Chargers and the Rams moved to LA. Moved back. Well, the Rams moved back, and the Chargers, and they were playing the Coliseum. While the SoFi Stadium was being built. So 8 years, man, and I remember that because I went to one of the games in 2014 to check it out. Obviously, I was like, oh, I'm gonna take on the Chargers because it's an AFC team. There's not really any conflict there. I can't root for the Rams, and being an Angelino, I want to root for all the sports teams in LA. So I'm really stoked about that. I'm really excited to bring content surrounding the team, and I'm super excited about this season. Obviously, there's a big matchup this Sunday against the Chiefs, and I don't know if we want to go into that now, if we want to go into it later, because I know we're going to be talking about the picks and everything later.
Yeah, why don't we talk about that later? Why don't we talk about when we talk about picks?
All right.
Cool. And I'm going to make sure I write down our thing. I actually should go print that out, but I did not print that out. So I'll just write the fucking notes down. But yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend. So one thing about Harbaugh, I will say, is I was listening and I remember when this happened as a Niner fan, the dark days of Tom Sewell firing him, the dark days before that, like Mike Nolan, Mike Singletary, Dennis Erickson, Mike Nolan, Mike Singletary. Finally, Harbaugh, good shit happens. And I remember it was the year before his last year that there was a rumor about talking about like Matt Maiocco was just breaking stories about how the fucking Niners are maybe thinking about there's tension in the building and people aren't getting along and maybe they might trade Harbaugh. And I was like, don't do it. No, we're gonna fucking suck again.
Yeah, and we did.
And then he goes into that last year and he goes 500 and they can him and they hire fucking Tom Sula.
We went from that to Tom Sula and Jim Kelly and Chip Kelly. Oh, that was hard times. That was hard.
So all these people who are trying to fucking have Kyle Shanahan run him the fuck out of here, just remember that shit.
Totally. But staying on Jim Harbaugh though, I was actually just listening to Kay Adams talk to Derwin James about his experience this year in the locker room, and he was just giving insight on his relationship with Coach Harbaugh, and the dude was like, you should have seen his smile every word that was coming out of his mouth. He was just like, we're so glad we got him. The whole team notices that, and he kept emphasizing noticing the shift from our previous coaching staff, which really pissed me off because We have the head coach in our building. Brandon Staley is like in the building. Why or what is he doing? I don't know, but like, it was pretty frustrating to like listen to him like just constant every few words just say it's the way they do things different than the last coach regime, and just like
Ah,
I know. I was just like, oh my gosh. And then I was listening to uh I was actually on Twitter, the Chargers posted that he Coach Harbaugh gave every single one, not just starters, but everyone
game ball.
not a game ball.
But
They walked into practice, and in all of their lockers, in each one of their lockers, they had like a toolbox. Oh no, not toolbox, like those old school tin lunch boxes,
yeah,
and in it it was like messages about it's time to feast, you know. And it's like little things like that, like where the dude is like when he means business, he means business, and he looks hella serious. But when he can be quirky and like get everyone like on a mindset of like be light on your feet, kind of, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like he can do that kind of stuff too, which I've never heard of anything like that from as awesome as Kyle has been for all these years. You know, it
Fucking
doesn't
doing
end
it,
it doesn't end with a Super Bowl, but he's been awesome. You know, is there like we have friends, right? We know friends who want to mock us and make fun of the 49ers and all this and that, but at the end of the day, like this season sucks, but it's been a really fun 6 years. You know what I mean? Like we can't
Speaking of
complain.
friends that like to mock us, fucking Chris. So I didn't
Right.
have the game live because I tape it so I could just zoom through. So I had to find out what like Chris was talking about. He's like, that's the type of play that if I was playing Chuck and Madden, he'd throw the controller. He had to have been talking about the Josh Allen throw to fucking Amari Cooper, and he throws it back to Allen, and he scores
Yeah,
down. That would have made me break the fucking or
yeah. That I
uh
mean, that was such a good play. How can you even hate on that, bro?
I don't hate. Oh, it was
I
frustrating
loved
to
it.
watch. No, it
No,
was
I
great.
didn't. I literally loved it. I was like I was like laughing and saying, "Oh my god," as if my team was scoring, and like even my wife,
Yeah.
Val was like, "Did they score?" I'm like, "No, they scored on us," but it was so damn good. Like these guys
I'm
are just clowning on us right now.
I'm not even mad. I knew we were gonna get fucking smoked, and it was a snow globe game. It was sweet. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm with, John Middlecoff. Like, it'd be best for the team just to fucking lose out and get a high draft pick, get, like, a number 8 overall pick. You know,
Well, I feel
2
like
hold on, nope. 2 they got 2, there's gonna be 2 to 3, maybe 3 I mean, it's a weak quarterback class, but quarterbacks always get drafted first, so Shador and Cam Ward will get drafted. So that means you get your choice of maybe the top 6, like the 6 best whatever leftover premier talent in the draft, and that's throughout the whole draft.
do we know what our picks look like? Do you have that up in by any chance?
I mean, I could find that real quick. I could find that real quick. And then we'll go into our next topic, but let's see,
Yeah, does
since
it
you
have
brought
anything
it
to
up
do with that?
since you brought that up. And I like I said, I'm gonna fucking we should
Like
also
how many? We obviously only have one first round, but how many seconds? How many thirds?
yeah, we'll find out right now. 49ers,
If season ended
40
today, the 49ers would be picking 14th.
yeah, that's not good enough. 40
No,
that's no man.
that's not bad either. We can find some if they know what they're doing, which
Yeah, just don't brick.
That's a whole
Just
nother
don't
conversation to have.
drafts,
Oh, here
draft.
we go. I think I found it.
Well, I'll have it on my end too.
Okay, so we have one first, one second, one third, oh, two thirds, one fourth, one sixth, one seventh. Oh, so we don't even have a whole lot.
What about
We only
compensatory?
have 7 picks this season, this off season.
So, I see it looks like list of draft. So yeah, our first, our second, our third, a third round compensatory, a fourth, a sixth, and a seventh.
Yep. So we don't
Wow,
even have a 5th round, and that's where we've been making our money.
that's so funny. But maybe we can get something by flipping somebody. All right, so let's move on because I will say let's go to a lighter note. So the 49ers starting a line. So somebody put it out, and I think Jalen Moore has been like something like the 8th rated
Yeah, he's in the top 10.
top 10 of offensive linemen. That's found money. Ben Barch apparently played really well at left guard in
Hmm.
place of Banks, and Banks is a free agent. So I'm proposing for I think Trent, especially, condolences to Trent, lost a baby. That's awful. It's the second Niner this year. That's just horrific.
Yeah,
Can't imagine.
that's crazy. I
That's the
mean,
worst. I
talk
mean,
about
what
just
else
a
on this
terrible
list?
season.
Yeah.
Like people getting injured,
Shot.
shot,
What the fuck?
multiple players losing children. Like
Dude.
it's a horrible, horrible season for the 49ers. Like,
Mhm. But
but nobody's gonna care. Like
no one's gonna care.
there's no, we can't cry about that. Like, there's
No, it's professional sports. The guys
yeah.
get paid a lot to pay a kid's game, and like I've even said in the group text, it's like it's only sport. It's not that big. I'm not gonna kick the Broncos when they're down because Chris, our buddy's a Broncos fan,
They had a
and like Bo
nice.
Nix is a
They had a
baller.
they had a fun game this past Monday, man. That was a good game. I don't know if you
That
watched
was a
it.
good game. I love Jameis Winston, dude. His energy, that guy.
So
That,
what's funny is he had total 600-yard pass. He had passing 600 yards.
I think it wasn't quite 600, was it?
No, listen, he had 600 yards, 4 touchdowns, or 5 touchdowns. But of those 600 yards, it was 200 yards to the opposite team.
Oh, it's hilarious. Are we talking about picks and shit?
Yeah,
He
including
threw
the
3
picks.
picks.
Yeah,
He threw 3
yeah,
picks.
yeah. But still, like they had two of those picks were touchdowns.
Mhm.
You know.
Okay, cool. So I want to propose something. So the 49ers, because Spencer Burford, I just checked, apparently he's still on the roster. He's 6'4", 300 pounds. He played left tackle in college. What about this? The rest of the year, this is the 49ers offensive line. Jalen Moore at left tackle from left to right. Jalen Moore, Ben Barch, swap out Brendel with Drake Nugent, right guard Pooney, right tackle. Just throw fucking Burford in there and see what he can do.
Yeah, I'm
Please.
with it.
6'4", 300 pounds, long arms. Put him in there.
At this point, you want to start giving all of these guys some real life in-season reps and maybe see what the nucleus looks like, and then maybe they can kind of gel together for next season. The only thing we're not in the business of winning games anymore. At least the
No.
Niners shouldn't be, because they're only hurting themselves. Even if they manage to win a few games or win the divisional games to make it to the playoffs, they're not doing anything. This is not a championship team. They're all banged up. It's going to be awful if they try to go in the direction of trying to win as many games as possible, just for the sake of saving face. So with that said, though, like if that's the line we're gonna go with, and we're gonna start kind of working on chemistry with the line, then what are we doing with Purdy? Like, are we really trying to get this guy hurt? Are we
play Mordecai? Who gives a fuck? But he's 4'4". He's fast, bro. He played it with play Mordecai.
play him?
Brandon Allen's trash. Play Dobbs or Mordecai. But you know what? This is what I wrote. Well, I wrote a lot of shit, but one of these things I wrote: youth movement. Okay. Bench Campbell, shelve Warner. If injury can get worse, shelve him, and start Graham and Winters at linebacker. Bench Brendel, McKivitz, shelve Trent Williams, start Nugent at center, Moore at left tackle, Burford at right tackle, shelf Debo, start Pearsall, Cowing, and JJ, shelf Bosa, play anybody else, shelve Purdy, play Mordecai at QB, limit CMC's touches, and that's before that he's out for the year or whatever. Give lion's share of carries to Mason Garendo. That was before Mason. We found a high ankle sprain. We got Garendo, and we got this other guy, Patrick Taylor, and then the guy out of Pitt we picked up, who apparently is really fast. How do you say his name?
It's a really long name. I haven't figured it out yet.
Okay. That was a test. And then get Mason Pline on the field. See what he looks like in the NFL. It's like basically Kyle has. It seems like the only fucking way. That's another thing. Kyle Shanahan needs to self-scout and get out of his own way and fucking play rookies and see what you got. And the only time he ever does that is when guys get hurt. When he's forced to. So now it's like, hey, play these guys, get them on the field, evaluate them, get tape on them, and see what you got going in before free agency in the draft. So that's what I wrote. So moving on, Debo's down year. Like, and I got his stats on the year. Guess where he's ranked among receivers?
I'm gonna guess he's in the lowest percentile possible. He's only got 1 touchdown this year.
Okay, guess how many yards you think he has receiving?
300.
That's what I thought. He actually has 531.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 531.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, 1 receiving touchdown and then 1 rushing touchdown. He's ranked 48th among active receivers behind a bunch of people. Also, these guys are going to be linked together, Pearsall and fucking Ladd McConkey. Ladd McConkey's ranked 13th, 815 yards.
Oof.
But you got to think about it. They have a better quarterback, and they've got a better since you're all about they got the guy. Okay. First of all, if you put Ladd McConkey on this Niners team and have him miss training camp, he's not as good. He's not doing the same thing.
Yeah, but you know what? Like Pearsall,
no, he's not doing the same thing. Hear me out. Not doing the same thing. Fine, I'll hear you out. What you got?
No. First of all, Pearsall was never really showing all the flashes, even before he got shot.
Tampa Bay. What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm talking about preseason, because that's where you were. I know, but during the off season, remember, you just went into the whole off season conversation just now, like 30 seconds ago, right? And that's what I'm talking about. Like, even in OTAs and all of that, he wasn't looking that good. And that was like a level of concern, and all kinds of people in the media were like questioning, like what's going on? His shoulder, he kept having like shoulder issues that the team may or may have not known about already prior to drafting him. And not only that, even with in Tampa Bay, if you go look at Tampa Bay's pass defense, it's not good. It's a pretty weak pass defense. That's why Purdy was throwing it all over the field that game. You know, heck, he with like 50 seconds left, he marched them down the field with some really nice passes to win it with a go ahead field goal. So Pearsall, what I say all of that to say, McConkey is creating his separation every week. And not only is he creating it, he's the only one right now with the Chargers who's doing that. Like that, right? That's like the Achilles heel right now of the Chargers offense, aside from J.K. Dobbins going out on IR for the next 4 weeks. Probably will be back for the playoffs for sure. They should make the playoffs because they're like 8-4 right now. They'll win like at least 2 more games and be in. But McConkey doesn't have any other complimentary receiver. So he's forced himself into the conversation.
Who's that guy that they got? Who's the guy that they got from TCU?
Quentin Johnson.
That guy's a stud. Doesn't he? Is he fast? He's big enough and he takes the.
No, he's not. He's not a stud. I don't know why you would say that.
I just know he was a high pick. I don't just know that.
He was a first round pick. And
does he not help create space? Doesn't he take space? He doesn't do any of that?
He's
Let's see where he's at on this list.
he's dropped in Herbert's favor because he keeps literally dropping the ball. So they hardly target him now. It's been like
Really?
the past, especially during the Ravens game. He dropped so many balls that game. Like
Mhm.
he was a big part of the Ravens' success, to be honest.
Wow, I don't even see him. I see Joshua Palmer on this list.
Exactly. See
What
what
the
I'm saying?
fuck?
Exactly. Joshua
Xavier
Palmer is their
Worthy.
number 2. And Joshua Palmer is not he's got like Joanne Jennings speed, you know what I mean? So McConkey out of default, and good on him because he sees the opportunity and he's created himself to be. He's not a natural wide receiver one, like a one, but he's created himself.
Okay.
Like if this team manages to go off season, the Chargers, and get like a T Higgins or something like that,
I want T. Higgins for the Niners, bro. I wrote that down.
that's not going to happen. Though that's just wishful thinking. You know what I mean? Like
Okay, cool.
we don't have money like that. We don't have the space like that. Whereas other teams like the Chargers, they do. But that's just like our
We're,
fan fantasies.
we're gonna go into that a little bit towards the end of the year more. Is like who are the 2025 free agents to target, but not today.
Yeah,
So
I don't know.
I gotta say this, and I'm just like, maybe it's just me. I just like it's just gonna be fucking annoying. I just don't want it to be true that we bricked on another first round pick.
I
And
know.
those guys were right fucking there. It was goddamn right there. It was Ricky Pearsall, and I can't remember Xavier Legette, Keon Coleman, and then fucking and Ladd
Well,
McConkey. Boom, boom, boom,
Xavier
boom.
Legette,
Right here.
Xavier
Let
Legette,
me tell you, no, I got his stats right here. I got his stats right here. So Xavier Legette, well, first of all, 99 of 100 wide receivers is Quentin Johnson with 366 yards. And
yikes.
then after, if you go up the list, you got Xavier Legette at 393 yards. And you go up the list a little bit. Xavier Worthy, 407 yards.
Yeah, look
Keon
at
Coleman,
McConkey.
417 yards. And obviously, fucking Pearsall's not even on the list. And then
Not even on the
way up, ranked 13th is Ladd
13.
McConkey with 815 yards. All I was going to
Mhm.
say is he's playing on a better team with a way better quarterback, with a way better offensive line, with just better. He's on a better team in a better situation, and he didn't get shot and he didn't miss training camp. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm just holding out hope that Ricky Pearsall
No,
isn't a bust. That's all I'm
I
saying.
I understand what you're saying.
I'm just being hopeful.
I understand what you're saying, but I feel like you're undermining the offensive line because if you look at the offensive line rating to compare to the Chargers, it's not that far off. The offensive line has not been atrocious. You know what I mean? It's not like a bottom feeding offensive line. Let's look it up. Unfortunately
PFF.
I told you prior to the show my laptop, my other laptop that I use to like pull stuff up is like not charged, so it's
I'll
dead.
go to PFF.
Yeah. And up until recently, like Pearsall, I feel like Pearsall, like getting separation has nothing to do with the line, has nothing to do with anything. You need to create that right off the top, after in your first 5 steps, and
Yeah.
he's shown to be able to do that, but I feel like if we're talking in a percentage wise, he's shown more that he can't do it than that he can.
And that
Right?
was part of his thing is his getting in and out of CJ Stroud was like, damn it, they took my guy because he was live streaming during the draft. He loved Pearsall. I
Yeah,
don't know.
well,
Let's just not fucking give up on Pearsall. And then
yeah, I mean,
all the weapons around him, like Debo getting worse, Ayuk out for the year. It just wasn't a good. Wasn't like
I
if
don't
you
think
want to
he,
if you
I
want
don't
to
think
create like if you want to create like a good positive situation for a rookie wide receiver, this wasn't it.
yeah.
And he's got Purdy versus Herbert.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm
I'm
not
just
gonna hate.
saying. Yeah.
I'm not gonna hate. I'm not hating on Pearsall. I'm
I
hoping
want him to be
that
good.
he'll develop, and I'm hoping that he'll be good. And his current, there's nothing to talk about when it comes to his current play. You know what I mean?
No. So
And his current play in regards to separating himself, because that's what you were mentioning earlier. That's on him. That has nothing to do with anything else. You know what I mean? When you watch the tape and you see him come off the block slow, that's on him. You know, like the steps inside, the even like
have
all
you
the
watched the all 22?
yeah. I've seen a
And
few. I'm not gonna say all of them. I saw the ones. I especially saw the ones for this past game. He was falling. The one time they targeted him, he's
he
just
fell.
falling.
Yeah, in the snow.
So
Yeah,
what?
whatever.
Bills players weren't falling all up and down in the snow.
Oh,
Like there's no excuse for that, man.
okay. So he gets targeted once. He fell. Okay. You know who also got who got targeted twice, and that's it. Kittle.
Kittle.
So it's just like no one was getting the fucking ball. Brandon Allen sucks. Purdy was actually Purdy playing.
It was Purdy.
I don't know, bro. All right, let's just move
Purdy.
on.
Here's are we gonna get to Purdy at any point?
We are going to get to Purdy. We're getting to Purdy. We'll just wait. We'll get to Purdy. I'll just say the last thing as far as stats. I told you before, but in last year at Florida, he had 65 receptions for 965 yards. I saw his highlight reel. I saw plays, his hands, all that. I'm not giving up on him. Whatever you say about Tampa Bay, they're a professional football team, and he outran guys. Antoine Winfield isn't a slouch at safety. Whatever. Like, he flashed. He flashed that game. I just want to see more of it. There you go. And then what I couldn't find, but now I remember to tell you, 23, Jacob Cowing had 13 touchdowns. He caught a pass in 57 straight games. Didn't miss a game in 5 years. Durable, fluid, hand speed, 2-time All Pac-12, honorable mention. Let's get him on the field. So moving on. Should 49ers trade Kyle or Brock? People are talking about it. Mike Florio floated it out, thinking the Bears should trade for him. The two guys that have gotten traded were John Gruden and Sean Payton. Would you? The whole thing is, if you're going to trade him, you better have a fucking replacement. If you're going to say trade him, who you get, and make sure you get him. Everybody wants Ben McDonald, or the people who want to trade him do.
Ben McDonald or Ben Johnson, you mean?
Ben Johnson, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I don't know about Ben Johnson. He's an awesome offensive coordinator. I don't know much about him outside that he's doing great things as an offensive coordinator and has never been a head coach. So that's all I know about him. So I'm not saying no. I'm just saying I don't know about him, right? Like literally, I don't know about him.
Like literally,
yeah, like literally.
Literally.
But like if we're gonna trade Kyle in this insane fantasy world that I don't want to really subscribe to, if that's gonna happen, then I guess like let's get Bill Belichick back in here. You know?
Yeah.
Let's get Bill Belichick back in here. Or even, you know what? Like let's hire Mike McDaniel as the head coach. He's gonna probably get canned.
Oh shit! Imagine this. Oh yeah, I had him on my, and I want to redo that because remember I did the power rankings of firing, and Eberflus is fired. Of course,
yeah.
we also
So that's why I'm. This is what I would say.
Mike McDaniel and Robert Saleh as DC.
Correct, and then we'd have to get like what, like four first round picks, 5.
Imagine you just trade fucking Kyle to get like 3 first round picks, 2 second round picks, and like Jalen Johnson. Thank you, Bears.
Would Mike McDaniel even be down to do something like that? Would he be like? Would he be like, I'm taking over? I'm taking over. That would be crazy. crazy.
We figured out the Niners, bro. Mike McDaniel. See, they just need to get into the stream. Just be like, have Jed there. That's a good fucking idea. Mike McDaniel. Okay, let's just talk about Kyle, bro. So I've been having a thing where it's just like, bro, he needs to take a look in the mirror, look at your Sour Patch face, look at what you look like, try to have some joy, bro.
Before he looks in the mirror, he needs to take a shower, bro.
Hey, take a shower and then don't even look in the mirror yet and shave with no shower and then look in the mirror.
Seriously.
Shower, then look in the mirror.
Coach,
but like his energy, his body language.
He has not showered in weeks.
His body language is awful, bro. And it seems like after all the bad beats and what's happened to the Niners, like losing 2 Super Bowls and him being there for 8 years, there's the whole thing is just like he needs, like I was joking around, like to go take ayahuasca or something, or like take some mushrooms, eat some edibles, get into yoga, like literally learn how to have fun again and like just do something for your body, take care of yourself. Hire like okay, so if the Niners, how do we fix the Niners, right? So how do we fix the Niners? Like I love what Larry Krueger says. It's like hire a draft consultant. There's no salary cap on coaches. Get a real deal professional, like awesome defensive coordinator. Hire a draft consultant. Take some shit off of Kyle's plate and be like, yo, we got somebody else. We'll do the scouting. Go on vacation. Go on vacation. Live, love, do all the stuff. Take self-care and really try to go, maybe see a therapist. Like do something to really get yourself out of your own way because he just looks miserable. And I don't want to coach. Like I don't know if you watched any of you haven't watched college, but Indiana's got a coach, Signetti. He's got Indiana like 11-1.
Yeah.
And I watched him blow this shit out of Purdue. And it was awesome because me and my mom watch football, especially if it's a snow game. And it was a bunch of snow. It was awesome. I just love weather games. There's people like what is it, Dieter Kurtenbach or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
You know, there should be a rule that no more, everything should be a dome. I'm like, fuck you. I like seeing it's football. I love shit in the rain. I love snow. It's awesome. I love it. I'm there for it. I'm all about it. So anyway, so I'm watching him blow out Purdue. They beat him like something like 69-0 or something like that. It was a crazy game, right? Mm-hmm. And you just look at him on the sideline, it's just like Sour Patch, like nothing's ever good enough. Do you want a guy who's just constantly fucking a downer and every like because he comes from Nick Saban, he coached it on Alabama. And he went on his own and went from small school to the other school to James Madison to this year to Indiana. And he's got Indiana in the college football playoffs, but he just looked miserable and his team's blowing him out. Like at that point, I looked at the side, it was like 55-0, and he's pissed about whatever. It's just like, bro, like that's not. I don't want to play for that guy. I don't want to play for a guy where everything's a problem. And Kyle Shanahan just looks sour. I don't like his energy on the sidelines. I don't like how a player gets hurt and he's like looking at his play sheet and instead of walking onto the field to like, how's your guy? Like get your head out of the play sheet, be a human. Like I don't know what is up. He just seems like a sour patch. And even I know me, I can be a sour patch sometimes. And you got like people like our homie Adrian, who just like, hey man, you sound a little grumpy, my boy. The way you're just talking about it. I was like, all right, maybe you're right. And that was like the day before we came to your karaoke thing. And then I came out, I had a good time. It was great.
Oh, you're being grumpy about the karaoke?
No, I wasn't being grumpy about I was talking about something else. I can't remember what it was, but it was in that same when we were talking on the phone. But I was like, I don't want to do that. And I was talking about I don't want to go to like the parade and like get my shoes stepped on and be crowded and all of a sudden now it's over. And now how the fuck do we get out of here? Like I just didn't give a shit about like maybe if I had kids and we all wanted to go, but I was like, I can see it great on YouTube. I can watch the whole thing. I can watch that, and I can watch it on at the stadium. You can do both, and I don't know. I mean, he's just like, you sound a little grumpy, my boy. So admitted, okay. And then I went, had a great night at your house, so I can understand as a person who doesn't want to turn into a curmudgeon, grumpy person. So it's just like Kyle seems like he needs to get a fucking massage, eat a little bit of microdose on some mushrooms. Taking edibles, have a fucking laugh, watch Happy Gilmore, get stoned to the gills, have a good steak and some red wine or whatever, and snap out of it because his energy and his body language is awful. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Kyle Shanahan needs to like really be because there's the whole thing too. So it's like if he can do that and turn things around and change up the power structure, the power dynamics in the league. I
Mhm.
turn the game off as distracting. Then switch it up like the draft consultant, take some stuff off his plate, maybe hire an OC, get a real deal defensive coordinator, someone to really help out, and then make John Lynch the team president and bring in a general manager and really shake things up. Cool. Like do all that and let's have a better season next year. And if he can't figure some of these things out and players are starting to tune him out, this could be this could be Andy Reid 2.0. This could be a great coach that gets run out. He goes to
Mhm.
another team and he finds his fucking thing instead of like keeping a guy. But I gotta admit, Kyle needs to do some self-reflection and change and work on himself.
Yeah, I think that the team definitely Jed needs to get approach him just like you just said and said, "Hey, we're taking these things off your plate," and have him do his thing. But in that same breath, I don't think Kyle's that kind of guy. I think he's such a person with like high controlling characteristics that he's gonna get offended. Hell, he may even ask for the trade or to be bought out or something, like something crazy.
Kruger was saying if they approach him and tell him some stuff like that, he might just say, "I'm taking my ball and going home." No.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I can see that. I can totally see that. I can totally see that happening just based off his personality and how he be, you know.
It's isn't it like honestly, you look at him on the sideline, it's not there's no joy. It's just like there is and Jim Harbaugh, don't get it twisted, that guy rubbed people the wrong way.
Mhm.
And he had a thing where just like he was being disrespectful and da da da, and he can't last for he's not a guy, he's not gonna be in like I mean, unless he softens with his older age, which can happen. But there's a thing where the Niners were tuning him out towards the end. He tried to do that, who's got it better than us, and people like, eh. Like Kruger said he was in the locker when they were just like they tuned him out. So there's also a thing where they might be tuning Kyle out. I just hope they can figure it out. This is a big offseason, but we were gonna say trading Brock, I think is probably off the table. But I
No,
will say,
I feel like
is it
trading Brock is
best
more on
idea?
the table than trading Kyle,
Yeah.
you know? Because Brock still has another, like, they don't have to sign him for a big
No, I
contract,
don't. I say don't.
you
But
know?
play in your 5th year or we'll trade you. Like you don't have to. We could franchise you after that. I say
Yeah.
don't give him the bag. So let's the next topic. Because Larry Kruger is talking about. I know I always quote Larry, but he's my favorite dude, and he's very intelligent. Or as far as this shit goes, he's plugged in. We're not in the locker room. This guy knows a lot
Mhm.
of shit. But anyway, Brock Purdy, he keeps talking about like if you're gonna like with Brock, like you got to build a fortress around him and have a great offensive line and put all his weapons. And I'm like, if he's the guy where everything around him needs to be perfect, is he the guy then? If
Yeah.
he's the guy who can't elevate his guys around him, like when Mahomes loses Tyreek Hill or Lissier lost Pacheco and lost another guy, and this guy and that guy goes down, but he somehow keeps figuring it out and lifting up the whole team. If you're not that dude, I don't want to give a
So,
guy $60 million a year if you can't elevate when things aren't perfect. That's the thing about being an elite guy is you can elevate the play when everything isn't perfect.
yeah, I took some time to really think about that because I've been hearing a lot of the media, like, debating this and just listening to both sides. I managed to like get myself somewhere in the middle.
Hey, there's good people
And
on both
and
sides, bro.
huh?
There's good people on both sides.
Well, that's why. Like, I'm taking it in from both sides, and like I found a middle ground, and that is that like Brock is elite in the sense that he can elevate his game, and he's proven that this year because even without CMC the entire season, Ayuk was not playing well out the gate, and then got hurt in week 6. Debo in and out of the rotation, Kittle in and out of the rotation. All of these things Jawan Jennings not playing as well. Jawan Jennings missed games as well. So all of these things, like everybody, and he's kept that offense as a top 5 offense for some time. It's not there anymore, but like about literally 3 weeks ago, it was a top or 4 weeks ago, it was a top 5. I'm sure it's probably still top 10 if you look now,
Let
right?
me look.
And and so he's managed to raise his game up and make plays when they needed him to make plays with his feet. He's been doing that a lot more this season. Keeping plays alive, whether he has to run to get the first down or just scramble until he finds someone open or throw it away. He hasn't been taking unnecessary sacks. He's elite in the sense that he can elevate his game, but he is not elite with a capital E because he doesn't elevate everyone else's game. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I mean. So, like, are we trying what are we trying to do? Because he shouldn't be getting paid more than a Mahomes. Mahomes elevates everyone around him.
Yeah.
You know, he shouldn't be getting paid more than Josh Allen. Josh Allen elevates everyone around him. Lamar Jackson elevates everyone around him. Brock Purdy, unfortunately, can only elevate himself.
Hey, look at that. Yeah. So Krug had mentioned that too. Is like I'm looking at this. It's coming from Fox Sports total offense, and when I can screen share and not be an idiot, everyone can see this. But 7th ranked overall total offense.
Yeah,
372.4 yards a game, but that's yards. That's not scoring. That's
right.
the problem. We've been getting these bullshit yards, but we're not because we're bad in the red zone. We're not scoring. So just look at this just on this chart. So Niners are ranked 7th, but that's by yards. So then next column over is offensive touchdowns. Niners ranked 7th, 372.4 yards, 27 touchdowns. And I'll go up the list. It's Buccaneers, Commanders, Eagles, Packers, Lions, Ravens. Right? So next team, Bucks, 39 touchdowns. Commanders, 41 touchdowns. Eagles, 38. Packers, 36. Lions, 47. And Ravens, 47. And then you go to the Bills, they're ranked 10th, 347 yards a game. But they have 43 touchdowns. That's 16 more touchdowns than the Niners. The Niners have the least amount of touchdowns on this list so far. If I go all the way down, 27. Hold on, just real quick. Cardinals have 27 touchdowns. They're ranked 11th, and it's by yards. Steelers have 28. And then the Dolphins are 24, Cowboys 24, Browns 24, Chargers 26, Raiders 22, 19, and it just you feel that's terrible.
It's terrible.
These are empty yards, bro.
What I would also add to that is that they've been killing themselves, not just because they can't convert in the red zone in touchdowns and they're instead of getting field goals, they're killing themselves with penalties. They'll have an 80-yard drive inside the 10, and then next thing you know they're like on the 30.
It seems like every game we have 9 penalties for like 88 yards.
So yeah, like it's all of those little things, you know. It's not just like, oh, we're getting all these yards and then we stall out and get field goals. No, it's we get all of these yards and then we take 5 steps backwards for taking penalties, and then we're no longer in the red zone. And I feel like we've shot ourselves out of the red zone more than we've just settled for field goals this year.
Look at this. Okay, so
I wonder if there's a way to pull that up, because I feel like that's a real thing.
What?
That we've pushed ourselves out of the red zone with penalties more than we've just stalled out in the red zone and kicked field goals.
Wow, I don't know. We have to do some research on that. It's a good one. Write a note. But so look, yards. Okay, yards a game offense. Yards a game, 372.4, seventh. Rush yards a game, 139.6, seventh. Pass yards a game, 232.8, ninth. Points per game, which is goddamn the most important, 22.5, ranked 16th.
Yeah.
So we're middle of the pack. Defense, yards a game, 309.9, fifth. Rush yards a game, 119.9, 15th. Pass yards a game, 194th. Points per game, 24.6, ranked 24th. So if we're averaging 22.5 points and we're averaging giving up 24.6, it's a recipe for losing year. And that's what the fuck
24.
we got going on.
And last year we were giving up 20 or 21.
Yeah. It's just it's just a shit. It's just a shit year. Let's look at this. Jets, we win 32-19. Minnesota lose 23-17. Rams lose 27-24. New England win 30-13. Arizona lost 24-23.
Yeah.
Seattle
Last year we were allowing 22 points per game. It was in 2023 we were allowing 17. I mean, we just keep going up, man. Like I think Kyle's assessment for defensive coordinators just keeps getting worse.
Yeah.
And like honestly, clearly Wilkes was not the problem.
No, I wasn't saying it. Yeah, just I don't want what the fuck. All right, let's move on. God damn. All right. This is a quick one. Should Kyle abandon his system? Because everything he talks about, guys got to fit my system. They draft a guy to fit the system. My whole thing is in the draft, fuck your system, fuck need, best player available. We need studs, whoever they are, wherever they come from. And then supplement in free agency. And you can get unsigned rookie free agents, undrafted rookie free agents, and figure it out.
You know, I would say that his system has proven that it can't win Super Bowls.
Slowest pace. The Niners play at the slowest pace in the NFL. And that's something that's frustrated me when we've needed to come back. Remember that game last year against Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
No, we just couldn't.
That wasn't last year.
Wasn't last year?
That was 2 years ago.
Was that 2 years ago in Atlanta? And we couldn't move the. I remember because I couldn't watch the game. I'm just watching the score underneath. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And we couldn't move the ball. And Kyle would just.
And Garoppolo was still under center at that time.
Can't play up tempo at all. Can't figure it out. Like, that's that slowest. I've seen it with my eyes. That's why when we have a lead and everything's we're front runners. We got the lead. Cool. That's how we can win. If we're down in the fourth quarter, there's no hurry up, no tempo. We can't figure it out.
The fucked up part is if we're down 10, we're screwed. If we're up 10, we're possibly screwed anyway.
Yeah. So maybe maybe tweak part of Kyle Shanahan once he takes a shower, then looks at himself in the mirror. Part of his self-scouting when he looks in the mirror is he's got to figure out, tweak your system, bro. And it seems like Grant Cohn put it out that seems like all the coaches under his like tree are like struggling. Like Mike McDaniel, I think the dude from maybe Texans. Either way, like he was just highlighting like where they were versus like Sean McVay's tree.
Mm-hmm.
And the league seems like they figured out Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of the most studied like systems, right? So it's like now it's time to do a 2.0 or a 3.0, but you can't keep running it back. You know what I mean? Like
the Cabo click. This what just makes me think about.
You can't
revenge tour. Like, no, you got to go. We're gonna get into that. We'll go right to it. Rip off I'm all about it, bro. I'm all about next year. The playoffs are going to be sweet. The college football playoffs are going to be sweet. There's going to be a bunch of good games. I love the NFL. Like I can watch, and it's not like NBA or like MLB where it has to be my team pretty much for the most part, especially for baseball. It's got to be I can't really get into another baseball game. I just can't. And I haven't even watched hoop at all this year because to me the NBA season is way too long. It like starts in what, October and it ends
But
in
it's not.
June.
It's 2 seasons now. If you got with the program,
So
you'd be
long.
watching the play-in tournament, and you'd be having a good time with that.
You in the play-in. Do you work for the NBA,
That's a
bro? Do
different conversation.
you
It's
work for the
fun.
NBA? All
It's
right, cool.
fun.
I'm just consumed. There's enough stuff between Niners, like pro football, and once college football is over, I can open up some bandwidth for hoop. But it's like I'm too like between 49ers and college football and all like other stuff, other content online. There's so much shit to look at. Like I can't like I'm sorry. It's hard to get excited about the early on in the NBA. I'm just not. Anyway, so that's another thing. So this is my plan. I wrote it off. Rip off the Band-Aid. Cut/trade Debo. Post June 1st. So I already told you, if they cut Debo post June 1st, his dead cap gets split over 2 years. So if you cut him before that, then you have a $31 million dead cap. So that's terrible. But if you cut him after, you can split up 15.5 this year, dead cap 15.5 next year. That's just the move. I feel like Debo's cooked. He's a $30 million kick returner at this point, which he looks good at kick returner, but that's a lot of money for a kick returner. So we're ripping off the Band-Aid. So sorry, Debo, loved you. You just seem cooked. You got a bag. You're rich. You're wealthy. I don't feel bad. You'll be fine. Cut Juice. Gotta go. Cut Campbell. Cut Hargrave. Cut Brendel. Cut Huff. CMC even. Like, I'm sorry. And it just sucks we paid all these guys. CMC. Yeah, let's have a rough, tough year and just try to like hold everything together
You're
with like
talking about just cutting CMC?
no, something. No, I'm just saying moving off of CMC at this point. So move off of CMC. McKivitz, Banks is going to be a free agent, and honestly Trent Williams. Trent Williams is just like he's going around on. He's got like one of those little things like for people who like break their like have an Achilles surgery. Those little, just like sorry, like it's just we just need to move on.
Jalen Moore is that guy. It's time to move on.
What? And Jalen Moore being the 8th rank, it's just like, I'm sorry, we need to move off of these old vets, get rid of the Cabo click, boombox click, where's Debo and Trent coming on.
Dude, they better not show up with the fucking boombox against the Chicago Bears.
That boombox. I swear, no boombox. We're done. You're done.
You don't deserve
end that.
A boombox.
End it. I'm over the boombox. So I say rip off the Band-Aid, get rid of all these old, just like I heard they were talking about like what the Bills did. The Bills are thinking like, oh, they might be cooked. They got rid of all these veteran guys like Mitch Morse, they're like center or something, like an offensive lineman. He went to the Jaguars and all these different guys, Poirier, like they got rid of a bunch of veterans. They got rid of Stephon Diggs. They brought in a bunch of rookies. One of them, Keon Coleman from Florida State, who's doing pretty damn well. And now look at the Bills. So that's all the shit in the NFL can turn around real fucking quick.
I mean, look at the Eagles.
Look at the Eagles. Everyone's saying they're cooked. They lost their last whatever X amount of games last year, and Sirianni's got to go.
And they stunk. Their season last year was not because of injuries the way ours is becoming all these injuries and all these crazy situations. They were just playing bad football and didn't have the right personnel. And they did some really good moves, hit on the draft.
Dude, Saquon Barkley hit on the dude. They got Quinyon. So I was all about my draft shit. Quinyon Mitchell, I loved that at Toledo, and Cooper DeJean. Those are guys that I was like, fucking, can we take one of those guys? And Cooper DeJean was gone. They took Quinyon Mitchell before the Niners drafted. Yeah. And then I was like, what about Cooper DeJean? He was available, and they fucking took Ricky Pearsall, and then Cooper DeJean was gone by the time we drafted again.
Yeah.
It was so frustrating to watch that happen. They got 2 dope DBs, and now look at the Eagles. And now look at the fucking Eagles. So this shit can switch around quick. Do what I'm talking about. Fucking move off of all these old dudes. I'm sorry. Whatever it is, we'll take dead cap shit where we got to take it. Move off of them. Don't pay Purdy. So now you'll have cap room because you're not going to be paying Purdy. Draft another quarterback. And you could even get a guy like there's guys that I like that are like, you could get Zach Wilson. Probably for nothing, and maybe see if you can rehabilitate and have a dope guy. They liked them early in the draft. These guys who don't work out in the first place, Sam Darnold. There's
Sam
examples.
Sam Darnold's going to be a free agent.
Baker, I know saying Sam Darnold will be there. Zach Wilson will be
Baker's
there.
going to be a free agent.
Baker, okay. So pick up one of those guys, and Zach Wilson might be the best of the bunch. He might pick up one of those guys and draft a QB and have Tanner Mordecai, and that's your QB room, and trade Purdy for everything you can get for him. Oh, and at worst, you just let him play out the 5th year of his thing, and you draft a QB and pick up one of those guys. That's the recipe, because next year we're not going to be paying. We'll have cap room now because that's out.
The thing is, the Niners are going to outsmart themselves. They're going to fucking want too much for Purdy, and before you know it, no one's going to bite. And then they won't be able to trade it, and then they won't be able to trade him because they'll be deep in the season. And then before you know it, because he doesn't have any talent around him, he's going to stink, and then his value, and then he's just going to walk because they're not going to pay him. And then instead of getting a couple of like second rounds or a couple of third rounds, they get nothing because they expected to get like a first round in 2 seconds, you know, and they dug their feet down, their heels down, just the same way they did about Ayuk, and I'm sure they wish they would have taken whatever the fuck they could when they went before the draft.
Look at how that fucking turned out. The one guy vet I don't want to get rid of is Kittle. Love Kittle. He's a culture piece. He's still good, but you have to get a goddamn legit tight end too. Get a fucking tight. I watch college all the time. I'm writing names down, so we're gonna have a bunch to get into. And a bunch of names I'll give you. I gave a 3 before. There's guys. Get a legit tight end too. So that's like the draft stuff. It's like get a legit tight end too. Upgrade the offensive line, upgrade the defensive line, get a linebacker, draft a QB. Let's go. Next year's a different year. So, all right. So always draft a QB. I was telling you this offline. I think it's the most important football position of football. Every team needs one. I was looking it up because I'm trying to find examples of teams that have done that, just drafted a QB. Well, I guess and gotten something for him because they had this guy on their bench and they were able to like elevate him, but not exactly the same. But Matt Flynn was a player that the Packers drafted in the 7th round, and apparently they could have traded him if they wanted to for a haul, but then he ended up being a free agent. Seattle signs him like a 3-year, $30 million or $25 million contract, and in his like he's not a starter. Russell Wilson beats him out for starter. And then they trade him to the Raiders for a 5th round pick. So that's just like the math of like taking a 7th round pick and trading him for a 5th round. But that's not exactly the recipe I'm talking about. Like the Packers traded them himself for a 5th. You turn a 7th round pick into a 5th round pick. Like everybody needs a quarterback.
Yeah.
So
and you got a little bit of play from him prior to letting him go.
And look at the Redskins in the same draft. They drafted homie that didn't work out. He got hurt a bunch at a Baylor.
You're talking about Robert Griffin.
Robert Griffin. Okay, the 3rd, I believe. So Robert Griffin, they drafted him in the 1st, and then they drafted in the 3rd or something like Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Now we already know how Kirk Cousins is, but he did come out and ball for a while. And just speaking of Kirk Cousins, I swear to God, somebody's gonna break into fucking Kyle Shanahan's phone and delete Kirk Cousins' number.
I was gonna say I didn't want to interrupt you, but I was like, this motherfucker will fuck around and trade Purdy.
That's what he do. He'll fuck around and trade Purdy and then trade him for fucking Kirk Cousins, who just threw 4 picks last week.
He'll do like a 3-team. He'll do like a 3-team trade where like he trades Purdy to like X team. X team gives
the Falcons something great.
The Falcons a bunch of picks, and then the Falcons give us Cousins. Oh
God, no, don't do it. All right, fucking A. So that's my rant on the damn QBs. Like, always draft a QB. Get a guy. Your guy gets hurt, you got a guy. Like I was telling you offline, instead of spending a 3rd round pick on a guy like Joe Johnson, running back out of Utah, who they cut and didn't even make the team. Instead of drafting a guy in the 3rd round like a Cam Latu or a Trey Sermon who get cut in their 2nd year, how about just draft a quarterback and have them on your squad and have a stable of these dudes and showcase them during the preseason. And then if your guy gets hurt and he comes in and plays well, all of a sudden there's tape. And that next offseason, you can flip them for something else and just upgrade. Always draft a QB. Always, always, always. It's the most important. So anyway, that's my rant on that. Next thing, we're going to do our picks and get out of here. We're at an hour and 9 seconds. So week 14, and then I'll have receipts for our next show. We're going to go over our picks, and I need to make a graphic. So
how did we do last time? Well, I guess that was like 2 weeks ago, so it doesn't matter.
No, exactly. That's why it's irrelevant, because of Thanksgiving. It just didn't work, and nobody gives a shit about games from 2 weeks ago. So let's go through. We're picking it with the spread because it's more fun, because anyone can go, that team's going to win. Yeah. It's just, that's what makes it hard, is you got to pick with. So, okay. So first game, let me make it. I want to be able to see you too. I want to be able to see Henry. All right. There you are, buddy. There he is. Cute little guy. What did Tony Hinchcliffe call you? Adorable?
Adorable.
He's adorable. All right. Cool. All right. So first game. Okay. So I was going through the schedule and I was looking at next weekend, and in my head, I was just real quick coming up with like snooze, mid, decent, and great game. It was like, immediately like, oh, snooze, mid, great, whatever. Like snooze, like Jaguars, Titans, snooze. Falcons, Vikings, mid. Panthers, Eagles, dece. Because Panthers are coming along a little bit. They're starting to figure some shit out. They fucking played really well up into the end against the Chiefs. And the Eagles are just like a monster right now. So the first game, Panthers at the Eagles. Panthers getting 13.5 points. What do you think?
I'll take the points, because that's a trap game for the Eagles.
The old trap game, huh?
That's a trap game.
Yeah, I like that. I like that too. Like I said, they hung tough against the Chiefs, and I think.
Although you know what? Actually, I changed my mind.
What do you think?
You take the points because you were going that way, so you can't change your mind anymore. But I can.
Officially, I can't. It's official.
Yeah, it's official. Just because you were bandwagoning,
I'm bandwagoning the Panthers.
Yeah, my pick. So, so I'm gonna go with the Eagles because
laying 13.5. You're really good.
I got excited that the Panthers hung tight with the Chiefs, but I underestimated that the Chiefs do not have Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, Saquon. I didn't think anybody could have had Saquon and Derrick Henry. Anybody could have had those guys.
I mean, we thought we were going to be fine. No one knew that CMC a month prior to the season opening was going to come out with all of this. Let's get back to the
bro. Pick. Hey, real quick, the Madden curse seems to be alive and well. Even though Madden sucks, they never changed the game. It's the same fucking. I remember a few years ago, I was excited. I was like, "Well, Madden, I haven't played that in forever." I got a PS4 at Best Buy, and I got like the Madden, like I don't know, 2017 or whatever. I'm like, this is like the same fucking game. They don't do anything to make it better. It's the same as when we were kids.
Are you serious?
And then like they added
graphics. Are the same?
Are like their graphics are just better, but that's it. But like the gameplay and like it just doesn't seem like they've done anything to update it. And there was even like a Reddit, not that I read Reddit, but there was a Reddit talking about like how they're just taking your fucking money. They don't up it, just basically like copy and pasting the game and just changing the names of the team players, but like they're not improving the game. They did add a bunch of dumb shit that's a time suck. It's like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Where it's just like you go through like it's like GM or owner mode or something where you like go to like the practices and you have your players practice, you draft them and then you have practice, and it's just like, the fuck is this, bro? Like, what are you doing if you're playing that?
Fantasy life right there? Like, talk about fantasy football on another level.
How do you have time to do any unless you're like in high school, like and you're doing that?
You got to be in junior high or
yeah, that's a junior. Exactly, that's when we were kids, bro. All right, next game. Atlanta at Minnesota. Minnesota's laying 5.5 at home. This is Kirk Cousins' return.
Yeah, no. Vikings have 4.5, or they're down 4.5.
No, they're giving they have to win by 6 points to win.
Oh
They're
yeah,
laying 5.5. The
yeah,
Falcons are getting 5.5.
yeah. Then the Vikings are gonna Vikings. I'll take Vikings in the points.
The points that they're not getting points, you're giving points. 5.5.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. I have not watched anything of Atlanta. I don't give a shit about the NFC South. Tampa Bay is kind of fun to watch, but other than that, the NFC South stinks. I haven't
Yeah,
watched 1 second of a Falcon game. Have you?
yeah. I watched the entire Falcon game against
Oh, yeah, because they're
against the
Chargers.
Chargers.
That's why. So what's up with the Falcons? How'd they look? It looks like shit?
Well, they looked like a team that was coming out of their bye week, so they look really rested. They look like really hungry because they're neck and neck right now against with the Buccaneers for the division, and you got to win that division to even be in the playoffs because the second place is not going to be in the playoffs, kind of similar to the NFC West. So, so they're playing really hard. They came out fresh. They looked a lot more fresher than the Chargers because the Chargers were coming out of a Monday night game. So the Chargers only had 6 days rest or 5 days rest and then played on the 6th day, whereas they had a whole bye week and and the extra week to prepare. So they played the Chargers really hard, but Cousins managed to throw 5 picks. And with that said,
5 picks.
he threw 5 picks, and with that said, the Chargers are the number one scoring defense when it comes to takeaways. So the Chargers are not messing around. Their defense is like almost they're we'll know for sure this December if they're the real deal because they're obviously playing the Chiefs on Sunday. They got to play another game against the Broncos, who look like they're a feisty young team with some momentum. They play the Buccaneers next week, so we'll see how real but their defense is getting ready for like playoff. They look ready to go.
Okay, we'll hold that for that game because that's the last game. Well, that's Sunday night. All right, so Atlanta. So wait, who didn't Minnesota barely beat somebody like their last game? Who didn't they?
Yeah,
They're
Minnesota
10.
beat Arizona. They beat
Yeah,
Arizona.
and they didn't have a lead until the end of the. You know
Yeah,
what I'm doing? I'm going Atlanta getting 5.5. It's Kirk Cousins back in Minnesota. He's gonna have an axe to grind. Minnesota barely beat the Cardinals, which I was hoping the Cardinals would win just to
but the
really.
Cardinals are a better team than.
No, I know they are. I know they are, but they still
Anyway.
didn't have a lead until the last thing. So what I'm thinking is eventually they're going to get these close games aren't going to go their way. They're 10-2. I feel like this is the recipe for a loss for Minnesota. So I'm going to go with Atlanta getting the 5.5. And I was hoping, like I was trying to say, is I was hoping that Arizona would win just to really put some distance, just to really kind of put the Niners season to bed. So everyone would be like, all right, let's just fucking rest everybody. Because nobody wants to tank. Players don't want to tank because they're going to be out of job if they put shitty play on tape. But if you're just not,
And that's the problem with this weekend is Arizona plays Seattle again.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. So we're good. We made our pick. Next game, Jacksonville at the Titans. What a shitty game. Jacksonville's getting 3.5. Titans are laying 3.5 at home.
I'm taking the Titans.
Me too, because
No,
whatchamacallit's
you
out.
know what? No, timeout. I'm taking Jacksonville Jaguars.
Anytime, just because okay, you're gonna take Mac Jones then. You know
I'm
that.
taking Mac Jones because Mac Jones looked good, bro. Go look at his stats on that game. I was texting my buddy and I was like, man, I don't want to like down on Lawrence because he's he got hit pretty gnarly.
Oh god, Al Shire.
But and this was while the game was in the fourth quarter because Jacksonville came back and made it a game, and the Texans had to kick a field goal with like seconds remaining to win the game, or like a minute remaining to win the game. But Mac Jones, hey man, sometimes you get someone out of a system and put them in a different system, and
He's also looked like shit too.
he looked good.
I'm just saying he's also looked like shit though.
I haven't seen him play. When did he play for the Jackson? I didn't know that Lawrence ever went out.
I just remember. No, yeah, there was. Yeah, Lawrence was out for another time, like a few games ago, with something else, and he lost. Like they got a. It was like against. I think it might have been the Pack. Who was there? Was a team that they played that they scored a touchdown. It's like, oh shit, Jacksonville's up 7-0. They ended up losing. Like they got blown out or something.
Nah,
They didn't score another touchdown.
You're making stuff up.
Oh, fuck off. At this point, you know what,
You're making shit up, bro, for the fucking
no, okay, first of all, I'm not. So, okay, cool. So it's fun that you said that.
Whatever, fool.
Whatever, Di. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go. Jackson, I'm gonna find this fucking game, asshole.
Weak asshole.
Whatever, dude. I'm gonna fucking find this game, and you're gonna get clowned on.
Nah, come on. Let's keep rolling on the next game, man.
All right. I'm just saying that you're fucking. I know what I'm saying, bro.
Nah,
you're tripping.
You're tripping.
You're tripping, dog. All right. So let me make this shit small again because you got me excited, and I fucking made it. Something happen. All right. So cool. So you're taking Jacksonville and fucking Mac Jones. Fucking idiot. All right. Next pick. The Jets at the Dolphins. Jets are getting 5.5. All right, I'm going first. I'm taking Miami laying 5.5.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
So HGCB on that game together. Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Cleveland's getting 6.5. I'm going Cleveland. Cleveland already beat Pittsburgh once.
It ain't happening again.
So they're getting 6.5. So they could lose and I could still win. So 6.5. I'll take Cleveland getting 6.5. Who are you taking?
Same. I'm taking Cleveland 6.5.
Same thing. All right, cool. HG, and we both agree on that. Next game, Saints at the Giants. Saints laying 4 on the road. Oh, it's the Saints because the Giants are fucking a tire fire. The Giants are a fucking complete tire fire, bro. So okay. New Orleans on the road laying 4. I'm going with them. Who are you going for?
Saints and who again?
Saints at the Giants, the shitty, awful Giants. No Daniel Jones.
Yeah. We'll go. We're taking the Saints.
All right, so we're on the same. Next game. So this is a game that's got some juice because the Raiders. I was hoping for they'd beat the Chiefs. It came down to the last play. They could have on a penalty. They could have fucking beat the Chiefs. Chiefs are just by the chinny chin chin hair and the chinny chin chin getting by. Squeaking and playing. So the Raiders are playing at the Bucks. Raiders are playing with some juice. Buccaneers are fucking got some juice. So the Raiders are
going to Tampa Bay.
In Tampa Bay, Raiders are getting 6.5.
I'm taking the Raiders.
Yeah, me too.
Because the Buccaneers are going to win that game, but it's going to be like by 3 or 4 points.
Las Vegas Raiders, Tampa Bay Raiders. Plus 6.5. HGCB. We on the same one. All right. Next game. Here you go. Love this game. Seattle at Arizona. Because it's always good divisional. Seattle's getting 2.5 points on the road against Arizona.
Arizona.
Seattle. Geno Smith, did you see him on the side? Remember the Bills game? He just seemed like he was about to cry. Geno Smith he seems immature. I don't know about that guy.
He's been coming through, though. He had 2 come from behind wins now over the last 3 weeks against the Niners and against the Jets this past weekend. That was up. That like they took the lead in like the last minute.
So you're taking Arizona laying 2.5.
Yeah.
So let's just switch it up. I'm gonna take Seattle getting 2.5. Just to not be doing the exact same shit. Cool. Next game, Bills at the Rams. Bills laying 3.5. I'm
Yeah,
going with the Bills, bro.
Bills.
Okay. Bills laying 3.5.
And okay, so now that we got those two games out of the way, I want to say this. I hate that though. I hate that this is going to play out the way it is. But Arizona beating Seattle
Yeah.
and Rams beating. I mean, and then the Rams losing to the Bills are going to get the. If the Niners manage to win against the Bears, they're going to get all juiced up because now they're just a game again behind everyone.
So
And
crazy
it's
about
gonna
this.
be a fucking pain in the ass because now all of a sudden, oh, let's see what we could do.
Oh, let's win and let's fuck up draft position and maybe get to the playoffs and get bounced. And now we're picking 20 something versus picking like eighth.
Yeah,
I hate it. We don't have enough talent. Even Shanahan said it. We're not that good. So that was a great transition because next game on the thing is Bears at the Niners getting 3.5. Niners are laying 3.5 at home. I'm going for the Bears getting 3.5.
I think the Niners are gonna win this game, bro.
Okay, I don't. Cool. So you got that.
No,
I
but like
don't.
on a talent to talent level, I think that the Niners at home are gonna pull this game off.
Okay, so they have a
Is Nick Bosa playing?
no. I don't think he's
He's
playing.
still out. Okay.
I don't think he's playing or Williams is playing. Mason's out. He's on
Okay.
IR.
No, never mind.
He's on IR.
Chicago's gonna win. Chicago's gonna win.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Cool. And they're getting 3.5 points.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the game. Sunday night. I am excited about this game because we got to talk Chargers too. Chargers at the Chiefs. Chargers in KC getting 4. Do the Chargers take the monkey off the back and beat
Chargers
the
get
fucking
4 points.
Chiefs on the
Well,
road?
I'm obviously taking the points in Chargers. The
Me too.
Chargers are going to beat them.
Dude, they like I said, by the hair of the Chiefs' chinny chin chin have they gotten through this. They barely beat the Panthers. They went to overtime, I think. They barely beat the Raiders. It was a did you see how that Raiders Chiefs game ended? It was a Friday game. It was the Black Friday.
Yeah. That was horrible. And the I don't want to go into the whole ref talk because that gets
It's not, but we
but it was though. That was a terrible mismanaging of a call, picking the flag back up and all of that. Like they just they were saved, man, and just saved. So, but just because I'm picking the Chargers to win in Arrowhead because the Chargers are 8-4 right now.
yeah.
3 of those 4 losses have come by AFC playoff contending teams. One earlier this season against the Chiefs, which they were up by 10 and then just gave up the lead late. And then the Steelers and the Ravens. And so they still haven't they're still searching for that signature win. And I think that they're hungry for it. And it's after when you go on the road on a short week and win the way they did in Atlanta last week, and the defense really carried them through the way they did, that's like momentum, bro. And I really believe that they're showing up, salivating, and they're gonna win. They're gonna win.
Please, bro. Can I say this?
Hmm.
I'm getting fucking sick of the fucking Chiefs, bro. I'm getting sick of them, bro.
I'm not, man. I'm actually embracing it, bro. I'm not because you know what it is? Because I did the same thing. I hated on LeBron his early years, and I really didn't get
I
to
embraced him.
I his early years.
Yeah. No, I embraced him later on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I don't want to do that. And I hated on Brady his early years. And it's like, you know what? Like I'm at a point in my life where like I'm just embracing good play. Because Mahomes, he comes through for his team, bro. I would take him any day. Fucking
I'm not hating on him. I'm not
Give me
hating.
Gabe.
What I'm saying
Give me
is
Andy Reid.
the
Give me
Niners have
Spagnuolo.
lost. No shit. No shit. I want those guys. That's why I want the guy Colston Loveland, the tight end out of Michigan, who reminds me of Kelsey. That's why I'm all about a tight end too. That's why
That's
I'm
the
all about
thing.
getting an elite fucking quarterback. I'm mad we didn't even scout fucking Shanahan didn't even scout Mahomes because he was plan was just to get fucking Kirk Cousins in the offseason, which he didn't do. That's why he didn't even scout him. Doesn't fit my system. Doesn't even scout him. What the fuck is that? Hire a draft consultant. I'm just frustrated that to watching them do that, having them beat us in 2 Super Bowls and
They
beat
beat
us in
us.
the regular season. They beat us 4 times in a row or 5. They beat us
No,
this year. How many times did they
they,
beat us?
they beat us every time in a
When's
row.
the last time we've
They
beaten the Chiefs?
we haven't.
We
Not
haven't beaten. That's what I'm saying. As a
not in
Niner
the
fan,
Shanahan era. We haven't.
well, that's what I'm saying. It's all good to embrace good players. What I'm saying, I'm just looking at as far as personal shit, like Niners against the fucking Chiefs. Have they beat us every fucking time and beat us in 2 Super Bowls? I'm done with this buddy fucking these players going out and trading jerseys. Fuck that. Be mad at the players. Don't be fucking friends and taking pictures and jersey swapping. You should fucking hate these guys. They're like they did on the field. It's like, no, we're not friends. We want to beat you. You beat us in 2 Super Bowls. I'm just kind of like bringing all that into the equation.
Derwin James on K Adams. K Adams said, "You and Kelsey have been going at it for a while. Do you guys think you're friends off the field, or what's your status?" And he was like, if I could pick him up and body slam him off the field, I'd do it too.
That's the fucking energy I'm talking about, bro. That's why I'm like saying fuck them. I'm sick of them. I'm not saying I can't like appreciate them. I'm just fucking. It's just personal between Niners. It's like the old school, like the Packers, how they beat us in the playoffs 3 years in a row, and then we finally beat them. The old school shit with the Cowboys. They beat us. They beat us. They beat us. We finally came through in '94 and beat them in the NFC Championship. That's where I'm at with them. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I can't appreciate good play, but it's kind of like after a while, like I like if I don't have a dog in
Yeah,
the fight,
no,
I like the underdog.
it
That's
sucks.
all.
It
It
sucks.
does suck. I don't want to
But
be like, hey, the Chiefs are so great. I love Kelsey.
the Chiefs are not. The Chiefs are not going to three-peat this year. I'll tell you that much.
That's why I'm fucking. I'm sorry.
It's not happening.
So
Because
anyway,
even if they manage to get to the Super Bowl, they're gonna either face the Lions or the Eagles, and either of those teams are gonna fuck them up.
okay, thank God. So yeah, that's what I'm actually. It's looking like fucking Eagles Bills Super Bowl. How sick is the Bills? It's probably gonna be Bills Chiefs AFC, or unless you're Chargers. The AFC Championship is just gonna be good no matter what.
It's
Bills
it.
Chiefs,
I think.
Baltimore Chargers,
I
like
think it's
whatever.
gonna be the Bills. I think it's gonna be the Bills hosting the Chargers in the AFC Championship game.
Okay.
And
So
it,
who knocks off the Chiefs? The Chiefs get knocked off by because their Chiefs are gonna have the first round bye.
no, they won't.
Yeah, well, they're 11-1.
Yeah, they would have it now, but dude,
Buffalo's 10-2.
they
You're
have to
thinking
play,
Buffalo?
they have to play the Chargers.
Oh, because the Buffalo beat the Chiefs, so
Exactly.
they'd have the tiebreaker. So the
Exactly. And
Chiefs are
listen to
due for a
this.
loss. They're
Listen to
due.
this. Listen to this. They got to play they got to play the Chargers this Sunday. Then they got to go then they play Carolina, which they're going to win. No, they already played Carolina. They play another so-so team, but they still have the Texans and the Steelers and the Broncos. They're going to lose at least 2 to 3 games. Their little run is running out. And they're playing the Steelers in Pittsburgh on Christmas Day
Oh
morning.
shit! Good. They're gonna get an L. They're due for a few. All right,
Yeah,
last
they're due
game
for a few else. And then
Monday
the
night.
Buffalo schedule is like easy peasy from here on out.
Lemon squeezy.
Yeah.
Bottom line. Okay. Last game. Bengals at the Cowboys. Bengals are laying 5 on the road. And remember when we were doing our picks a couple of weeks ago, I was saying the Cowboys, like I saw how they played against the Texans. Like it wasn't as lopsided as that score. There's like some weird shit that happened where they could have
Yeah.
been hung tight. And then they play the next week against the Commanders and they fucking beat the Commanders. When I was like, and we both picked Washington, but
Yeah.
they fucking beat it. So I don't know what the fucking happened in this game.
No, but
Bengals are laying 5 on the road. I'm
it's
almost
weird
leaning
because
the
Cincinnati
Bengals.
doesn't even have a defense. Cincinnati doesn't even have a defense. Like their defense sucks. Like I was hearing that Joe Burrow bought the Batmobile from the fucking from the Dark Knight movie
Yeah.
for like $3 million or whatever. Like that fool should be buying a defense. And
Ha.
like he should not be spending money
When
on
did it recently happen?
yeah, just like a couple like it was on Hard Knocks.
Oh, I haven't been watching. What's that on? Is that on HBO?
I just saw the clip because it like someone that I was watching online played the clip, and
Yeah.
he was like pretty much bragging to T Higgins and Chase and Jamar Chase, just telling him, "Man, I just bought the Batmobile from the Dark Knight," and they're like, "What?" They like start freaking out like little kids. They're like, "The one that looks like a bike, but it's a car," and he's like, "Yeah, that one." And they're like all just laughing like little kids.
Oh, to be young and rich.
To be young and rich,
His rich are fucking balling. You see his Cartiers that a couple of years ago, and he was smoking that cigar. They look so fucking cool. Goddamn, Cartiers are sick. All right, so last game. So yeah, so the Bengals are laying 5 on the road. Bengals at Dallas laying 5 points. Dallas is getting 5 points at home. What do you got? It's a tough one. It could go either fucking way.
I trust Joe Burrow more than I trust Cooper Rush.
Super right. That's what I was thinking. And we've disagreed on enough picks, so we're not doing all the same shit.
Yeah.
We have 4 games we didn't take the same. So we're both doing that, but I could see anything happen. I could see Dallas winning. That guy Turpin is electric. That Turpin, his fucking kickoff return touchdown, or punt return touchdown, or whatever it was, where he did that spin and fucking. That's what we need. We need a guy like that. We need team speed. All right, Henry, it's been a good time. I'm gonna go watch this game. Love you. It was a great stream. We got to do tell the people subscribe, like, share, or don't. No pressure. It's on you.
No.
On
There
you.
is pressure. You fucking need to subscribe and you need to like and you need to share.
There's a lot of pressure on you to fucking like, comment, subscribe, share. If
Goodbye.
What a dick. Is he doing that? It's the Boller Sports Report. I mean, who else would it be? Dream Addict.